did everything right. You worked harder. You got better. You became more. And somehow, that's when everything started falling apart. Think about the last time you leveled up at something real. Maybe it was a new job, a new mindset, a body you worked years to build, a business that finally clicked. You were proud. You should have been proud. But then you noticed something. A conversation that used to flow now feels forced. A friendship that used to be easy now feels like work. Someone you've known for 10 years suddenly goes quiet right when you start succeeding. And you start wondering, did I do something wrong? Did I change too much? Is growing forward the same as leaving people behind? The loneliness of growth is one of the most unspoken pains in any person's life, because nobody warns you about this part. They tell you to grow. They sell you the vision, the better version, the upgraded life. But they don't tell you that the people who love the old, you might not know what to do with the new you. They don't tell you that growth can feel like grief when it costs you people you never expected to lose. And the worst part, you can't even be angry because you chose this. You wanted this, but wanting it didn't make the silence any easier. Here's what's actually happening. Every relationship has an unspoken contract, not written anywhere, never discussed, but deeply felt. It says, stay at this level with me, don't outpace me. Let's keep the distance between us comfortable. When you grow, you break that contract without meaning to, without warning. And people don't know how to tell you that. So instead, they drift. They get weird. They make small digs that feel too specific to be accidental. Psychologists call this relational threat response. When your progress becomes someone else's reminder of their own stagnation, you didn't attack them. You just moved. And movement from someone standing still looks like abandonment. Now here's the part that hurts. Some of the relationships you're trying so hard to hold on to were only built to survive the version of you that struggled. When you needed them most, they showed up. And that was real. That mattered. But some people are only comfortable loving you when you need them. The moment you stop needing, the dynamic breaks. Because your dependency was part of what made them feel valuable, important, needed a. Now that you're okay on your own, now that you're more than okay, their role in your story gets smaller, and that terrifies them, even if they would never admit it. So they don't celebrate your growth. They mourn it silently, bitterly, while smiling to your face. Here's the layer that goes even deeper. You're not just changing your habits, or your schedule, or your income. You're changing your identity. An identity change is one of the most disorienting things a person can experience. Not just for you, for everyone who knew the old you. They built a story about who you are. They fit themselves into that story. They knew their role. And now the story is changing. And they don't know if there's still a place for them in it. That fear, that uncertainty, it comes out sideways, as distance, as coldness, as comments that feel just a little too sharp. So what do? First, you stop shrinking your growth to manage other people's comfort. Playing small has never helped anyone rise. Not you, not them. Second, you get honest about which relationships can evolve and which ones can't. Not every connection is built to grow with you. Some are built for a season, and seasons end. That's not. Failure, that's nature. Third, you hold space for the grief of it, because losing a version of a relationship you loved is a real loss, even if both people are still alive, even if no one's officially gone. You're allowed to mourn what used to be while still moving toward what could be. And finally, you trust the process of finding your people, because growth doesn't leave you alone forever. It just empties the seats that were never really yours to fill. The people who are meant for this version of you, they don't need you to explain your growth. They just show up, curious, proud, unthreatened. They celebrate what you've become because they're becoming too. And when you find those people, you'll know, because for the first time in a long time, being yourself won't feel like a problem. It'll feel like coming home. Let me leave you with this. Your growth was never the problem. The problem is that we live in a world that tells people to want more, but punishes them quietly the moment they actually get it. The distance you feel right now, that's not failure. That's the price of becoming someone real. And that price, however painful, is always worth paying. Keep growing. Even when it's lonely, especially then. Because the life waiting for you on the other side was never going to be built by the version of you were afraid to leave behind.